Welcome, everybody, to the Get Bit podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most, of course, Black Spartan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, Show I Got Joe. Why is Mania 3 still the best Mania? Oh, Lord. Why are we choosing arguments on the eve of WrestleMania? But how are you, sir?
I mean, am I not correct? Is that not one of the best WrestleManias of all time?
You said still the best Mania.
It is. It still has some of the most memorable matches ever.
That's going to be a debate. But also, I do have a co-pilot.
How's a debate if it's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man and the Slam heard around the world?
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone because that's gonna take all of our podcast time. Anyway, co-pilot right next to me, joining us once again. Chad, how are you, sir? As your command man in the screen.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger?
Yeah.
How are you, Cheeseburger?
Yeah.
I did not realize we had a cat.
That's like just Cheeseburger. That being said, we are seasoned, but at the same time, guys, we do try to watch our language on here. There may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers. So your discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, how do we actually start this off? A little bit of movie news, actually, because in the world of Marvel, people are happy about it. People are mad about it. People always have an opinion. What I'm talking about, guys, is Fantastic Four. We do have our Silver Surfer. Actress Julia Gardner will actually be playing a version of the Silver Surfer in the 1960s MCU film. Now, again, there are people out there that might be slightly annoyed or mad that we're getting a female Silver Surfer, but this does kind of fall on the fact of where it falls with the story of the MCU. Of course, if you know who Julia Gardner is, she was actually in the Netflix series Ozark. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. But I think she would do well. But again, I'm not mad about the casting. We can have a female Silver Surfer. If you've actually followed the comics, it's literally a story in itself with a certain Earth. But I'm not against it. But Joe, your thoughts on that?
First off, when they casted her, I thought that we were going to get Maddie Franklin, the Galactus Nova, not the Nova from Nova Corps, because we have Johnny Storm. But her being cast as the Silver Surfer version of Shalabal, love interest of Nornrad, the actual Silver Surfer, I applaud them for this. At this point, I am also fairly certain they are doing this just to piss people off. I mean, and literally, I guarantee you at some point, now they're fully leaning into it because now they know that they will get people who know what this is, will still get it, and they'll still get attention from all the hate watching.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's still great. I have no issue with it because it is telling the Shalabal story, which again will tie in certain characters to the MCU. I'm just glad that they are taking their time with it. As we've said beforehand, MCU in the past has chosen quantity over quality, and again, that's the reason why they're having an issue with a director's board right now. But apparently, we have a new CEO that's going to be taking over Disney once Bob Iger is gone. But I'm not against this. I think it's great, personally, to see this. I just want to see Fantastic Four be done properly. But the long-standing argument is basically going to be how is Doom going to be done? I just hope he doesn't show up in the first movie. That's just me. I'm hoping he doesn't show up in the first movie. It doesn't always have to be Doom. You could literally go to Galactus and be fine. But
no, I argue against that tremendously. Like, I don't even think we need to be going to Galactus right away. I still say we should be doing lesser villains like Mole Man, or if we're gonna get Joe, maybe we correct as well with that controversy sells.
Yep.
Or God, what is his name?
Who are you trying to find? Who are you trying to remember?
Ruler of the Negative Zone, not a nihilist.
Oh, not a nihilist, but
no, not a nihilist. Blast Star.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like, I would prefer to, like, if we're gonna put in, like, because let's face it, Marvel is pretty good at tossing in one and done villains. If they're gonna bring back the Fantastic Four from wherever they've been, Give them a disposable villain right off the bat. I mean, probably not Hans Mole Man of the Mole Man people, but definitely Blastar. Give them something cosmic, something to go get, something that's formidable but ultimately forgettable. What's up, Chad?
No,
go ahead. You got a question? Go for it.
Not a question, but it's something to say. So I feel like they should go with Galactus, and after they defeat Galactus, that's how they're gonna end up in the MCU. Because it just makes sense. Like the first thing that pops into mind when I think of the Fantastic Four is how they got their powers, and that's like they got it from like some sort of space time thingy. It would make sense if they just find the portal, go through it, and they're in the MCU.
And let's see, throw a Super Scroll as someone from an earlier point in the Secret War. I mean, that can work too. I mean, there's a lot of avenues.
Themselves so far away from Secret Invasion, they will not touch that.
Well, I mean, it's not really Secret Invasion because you are acknowledging scrolls are everywhere. So I'm not against a Super Scroll just being a throwaway villain. It's not that bad.
I mean, War Machine.
Well, we only have one functional Super Scroll left in the MCU,
that we know.
She's a good guy.
Well,
there's no clerk we can just toss in there and go, oh, there was secretly one more. We saw them all.
Well, that's the problem though, because Secret Invasion kind of left it open-ended. Like all you saw was what they wanted you to see, but we really didn't actually see the end result. And plus, like I said, it doesn't have to be a Super Scroll, but a scroll nonetheless. But it could be anything else outside the major heavy hitters is what we're getting at. That's all I'm saying.
I just think you going straight to Galactus is too soon. Like,
well, just something. Okay, well, I mean, I can concede to that. I can concede to Galactus. I just don't want it to be Doom. That's my whole thing. Doom.
No. Doom needs to be, as I've always said.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Doom, we go through the whole rigmarole, and then it ends up being a Doom bot the whole time, and Victor's been in the castle the whole time.
Fair.
Oh, you're talking about Doctor Doom. I thought you were talking about something else.
No, Doctor Doom. Like Doctor Doom will be the crown jewel for the Fantastic Four and the MCU. The thing is, what me and Joe are saying is that it's too early. It's too early. It's way too early to go to Doom as you're introducing the Fantastic Four to the MCU.
So, like I was saying, if they find the portal, end up in the MCU, Doctor Doom is just going to somehow find his way into the MCU.
They're already in the MCU, Chad. It's just you don't know where they've been, and if they've been in the negative zone the whole time, then you only have really two villains you deal with, and that's Annihilus and Blastar.
Right. But we're saying there's the general thing is what we're saying is other villains can be used in place of them to just really solidify the first movie, because the first movie is you don't want to immediately go for the first movie off the bat, because that's the thing, because that's
like starting the movie off with the Impossible Man. Right.
Like you don't want to start off with the go-to. Like we say it all the time. Like whenever I see a Batman movie, I'm like, I don't always want to see Joker. I would rather see all the other mini rogues that Batman has. Same thing. Because Joker's too easy. Joker's too easy, but at the same time, once you get your greatest adversary, it's kind of hard to top that. See what we're saying?
Mm-hmm. So they're already in the MCU. I thought they were in another
No. So what's going to wind up happening is that's the X-Men. So the X-Men have already been established. The Fantastic Four are going to be established, but the way they're doing it, some people don't like, because it's going to be set back in the 60s. So
I don't see a problem with that.
Well, the thing about it is, though, you don't see a problem with that. But there are just some people out there, let's just say they're very different. Different is the word, as far as how they see certain things. Instead of actually giving things time to develop, times to actually flourish. And like I said, with Fantastic Four, it could be fine. It's just how they set up the villains, how the story is set up. It just needs time to cook, as long as it happens. But go ahead. What are you gonna say?
You know how Spectrum got in the portal in the Marvels movie? She saw the X-Men. So I'm just thinking that version of Beast that was in the end credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of the Beast from an earlier X-Men movie that I watched. I just can't remember.
Well, that's the Beast that you saw was actually a throwback to the Bryan Singer version.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still Kelsey Grammer doing the voice.
Yeah, it's Kelsey
It's
Grammer.
now accurate
Yeah.
CGI body as opposed to a costume.
Yeah.
And to quote Maximilian Dude, the best way to look at it is there are people whose eyes are clouded by nostalgia and hate.
There you go. That's perfect.
So how would they be? How would I see that Wolverine can make his way into the main Earth?
Well, here's the thing, because Wolverine's already set up. That's the thing about the X-Men right now. The X-Men we know are already set up. But the big thing is they're down the lines. That's the one thing about the MCU that's trying to do differently right now. Instead of just throwing you hero after hero after hero, we're setting them up to where eventually they're all going to meet. But they all, just like how they did with the Infinity Saga, you saw how every hero was almost different. Like how Captain Marvel's movie was really set in the 90s. And how Captain America was set back in the 50s, but you saw how eventually they all made their way to present time, right?
So
same thing.
What was I gonna say? If this is the X-Men that I'm thinking, then Cyclops is dead.
No, because you're definitely not. No. Cyclops is very much alive.
Okay.
But
here's how we look at this in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just singing monkeys, mate. Don't put too much thought into it.
Pretty much. But moving right along, guys, I did want to cover some Helldivers news because, again, for democracy, they actually have a new patch coming in, which unleashes blizzards and sandstorms and basically will increase the difficulty as you play. I'm not against this. I so want to play Helldivers 2. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Joe, you can tell people, what did you think about it?
I was in a blizzard last night, being so mercilessly tracked down by multiple Terminators on a consistent basis. The only thing that kept me alive was a shotgun.
Well, Tafari, I know you've played Helldivers too, so what's your take on it?
I haven't gotten into
laughing confirms what I just said.
I haven't gotten into I've been EXP farming because they have the stratagem that gives you the rocket. So what I found out you can do is if you find the one that's like take out the enemy broadcast, you can just shoot it from the spawn point and be done. So I need armor-piercing weapons. I'm not ready for big boy levels yet.
Well, I've been purposely diving into level 5 missions just to see what they're like. I'm only level 13.
I'm like 11, but I need better guns. I need better guns and shorter cooldown times. I can call down resupplies and stratagems all day, but
so let me tell you what I've been rocking with. I've been going with the laser as my primary weapon, and then one of my stratagems is the Stored, which is the medium machine gun but lets you reload while moving. That thing's been a lifesaver.
Maybe, because I keep getting to the levels where people are like, we'll do the objective and leave. And they're like, nope, we're going to go take out every nest on the map. And I'm just
that's what I've been doing.
Do we get one guy? Is one person leaves and the other two follow? And I'm like, Usopp, I don't want to be here. We're done with why are we doing the mission last? Well, it gets harder after you do it. I know that. But still, why do we need to take out every nest? We're like, why are we trying to run out the clock on every mission before we call in the extraction? I just want to get the samples and go.
Well, true.
I got Terminator ships.
There was one thing that someone posted this morning where it says Ottoman spy returned to civilian life, or automaton spy returned to civilian life, and it was in game. It wasn't somebody in chat, and someone caught that. And it's like, wait, what did that just say?
So they've got Arnold Schwarzenegger's out there now spying with us.
Yeah,
our next thing may be a in-world army match against automaton sleeper agents in Helldiver armor. If this keeps going.
Yeah, so that's the thing about this is where the thing that they're doing well is the fact that, so you want to increase difficulty? We're going to give you that. You want sandstorms? You didn't ask for? We're going to give you that. You want Terminators? Plenty, which I'm surprised they got away with it, but I'm not complaining. I'm just waiting for Casper Van Dien and the Roughnecks to show up. That's just me. But
let me tell you something about fire tornadoes.
Dude.
The Bible.
I had the worst place fire tornado ever. So we were in the mission where it's the escort the civilians from one bunker to another. A fire tornado literally just spawns in the center of the field strip. So anytime any of us hit the button, they would just run directly into the fire tornado. We couldn't do anything about it. We had to wait like 15 minutes for that thing to move on.
Nice.
And they reduced the amount of people. It's like 15 instead of 30 now, right?
I think it's 15 to 20, depending on how hard the map is.
Thank God, because 30 was a big ask.
Hey, 30 was
They are making personal goals a little bit easier because it was like kill 500 units with this gun. Now it's like, all right, kill 200 units with this gun, and then your next one will be use an Eagle cluster bomb to kill about 15 units. Like, I can do that easily in one particular map setting.
Yeah.
By the way, for democracy.
But still, it's pretty fun. But move around. Oh yeah, I can't. I'm looking forward to playing it. Actually, you got a PS5. I should be using yours. But anyway, move right along, guys. I gotta cover this story because before we get to the Waffle House issue,
Waffle House has found its.
Before we get to Waffle House, hang on because you're thinking Fortnite. Give me a second. So, we do got to cover Daredevil Born Again. The reason why we're covering it because, well, as news is coming out as we get ever so closer to this payoff, we do understand that John Bernthal will be reprising his role as Frank Castle in The Punisher. As you can see, his pictures there, and of course, we have pictures here directly right across from Charlie Cox, and of course, in his usual attire. Which, again, I'm not knocking it. I love John Bernthal's role as Punisher. I love the series that he does on Netflix, and I can't wait for him to get his series to come back on. But before I get to the other news about this, does this not make us more excited about Born Again, or is it just like we just need to wait for it to actually show on Disney Plus?
I feel like at this point, with all the people they're throwing in, you could have just called it Heroes for Hire. It's basically the whole.
Or just Marvel Knights.
Yeah,
I think they're saving. I think they're saving that for like some kind of Moon Knight and Blade.
Well, that's what the guy from Isaac. Dang it,
Oscar Isaac.
Thank you, Oscar Isaac wants a Midnight Suns. He wants a Midnight Suns with Blade and Ghost Rider, which I'm not against. I would love to see a Midnight Suns. A Midnight Suns can do a TV role. I am completely for that.
Didn't they have a game?
And that gentleman that's in the Blade movie just wants a Blade movie to happen at this point.
That Blade movie may take some. Woo! It's
also,
gonna take a lot.
I looking at this picture, I couldn't tell who was coming back, Jonathan Bernthal or this dude who looks like Guillermo from What We Do in Shadows.
Betty.
It's not Betty. I really thought that was him.
Oh man. Well, outside of that, there's another reason why I'm sticking on this page. Outside of John Bernthal actually being a part of Daredevil, we get this from Finn Jones via Instagram. For all those that don't remember Finn Jones, he did play the role many times that he said this, that he did play Iron Fist. He did play Danny Rand, aka Iron Fist, on the Iron Fist show that was on Netflix. We all remember our mixed feelings about this. And the thing about this is, because this is new and because there were more and more interesting characters than Iron Fist himself, well, it looks like from this picture, he actually might be getting another shot at it. How do we feel about that, fellas, considering the fact that the last two seasons of Iron Fist really didn't do that well?
May I?
Go for it.
Okay, my first question is, how do you not forget Finn Jones? All he did was tell you who he was every episode, painstakingly. I don't care that you're Danny Rand anymore or that you fought a dragon. I just want you to start the damn episode.
That too. I'm curious how he comes back as the Iron Fist because he got tired of getting punched, and last we saw he had the Iron Glocks. So, like, what do we? and we gave the power away to a more useful person we have not seen since. So
I'm surprised that you had the Daughters of the Dragon was more interesting than Iron Fist himself. That's the part that always. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
No. Go ahead. Finish yours, and I'll go.
No, I was just saying that the Daughters of the Dragon, the show, were more interesting than Iron Fist himself. Really?
That's agreeable. The bright side to this is the only thing I see this is they give him proper direction and proper show running, which I feel was probably what was the problem with Iron Fist the first time around. But this also potentially rehabilitates Luke Cage's character, which I don't think any of us enjoyed the way season 2 ended. I don't know about you, Tafari. I know me and Will did not like how season 2 of Luke Cage ended.
Right.
Yeah, setting Luke up to kind of be the kingpin or whatever. I didn't understand what that was about, or if there was a story for that. I feel like they realized they effed up by killing Cottonmouth too early and didn't expect him to be such a fan favorite. And Bushmaster
Bushmaster was fine.
He was great. Those three having a conversation would have just been like the greatest. This is my territory, like the mind game, the mob game, and the street game. I feel like it was a missed opportunity killing him off with the mic stand earlier. And then you have not Amanda Waller basically terrorizing them from behind bars. And I don't know. I like Bushmaster. I like the whole, we tried to get Luke Cage a Nike sponsorship, but the ending was like, I didn't know how to feel about it. Like even when the kid kind of kicked him at the shop, I was kind of confused. I'm like, where are we going right now? That's where the episode started to turn, and I was confused as to like, why are we mad, or should we be mad, or what's happening right now?
The problem with Luke Cage was they had a nice setup. I mean, the fact that you did have Black Mariah, you did have Cottonmouth, you did actually did have Diamondback. They just didn't. I mean, I looked at it this way. It's people who never read the comics try to write a story. And you can tell because they try to put in elements that didn't make any sense. So, same with Iron Fist. Iron Fist, I mean, the only problem I had with Iron Fist, really and truly, was the fact that you basically made Danny Rand a walking tape recorder. And his fighting didn't make any. His fighting looked like somebody that basically made above a white belt and decided that was enough. Whereas your co-stars look freaking awesome. And again, I'm not saying that Finn can't do it, but Finn, if you're ever listening to this podcast and you do get a chance to play Iron Fist again, I'm going to need you to find a Shaolin temple, stay there for 3 years, actually learn how to fight, or call Donnie in. One of the two. Because
or Yuen Wu Ping or Sammo Hung or Yun Bo, like anybody.
Literally, that was the problem. We focused defenders around a guy who basically was like the ED of the group. Like and then I was so confused. I'm like, oh well, they killed everyone in Kunlun. Why do we? But what was the point? And then we wanted to go. I couldn't tell if.
That's another
the dragon right bone there. Area.
Mr. Final Max says the best thing right there.
Called team from Shang-Chi. Yeah. No,
called the choreography and stunt team from Shang-Chi.
Yeah. What were you saying, Tafari?
Maybe our Shang-Chi come in and train them. Like, I've seen your fights on YouTube. You're embarrassing. Let's try. But even when they were doing like the final fight where they were mining the dragon bones or whatever, like I was like, are we back in Kunlun? And if so, why didn't y'all do this when you killed everyone the first time? Why did this take time?
It made no sense. Like I said, the only thing I hated, because how in the world did you write Jessica Jones so well? You wrote Daredevil extremely well, but yet the lesser twos got crap. I mean, that's just being honest.
Yeah, I feel like Luke did well up until the end. But even then, that first fight scene where they all come together in Defenders is great. That's like one of my favorite things to watch.
Yeah, but after that, it just goes downhill.
You get to the end, and then Danny's getting his own powers thrown around to like help the bad guys. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, how can I put this ever so nicely? It didn't make any sense, and yet you're just stuck, if that makes sense. That's about the best way I can put it. Go
There
ahead,
is
Joe.
one bright side to this.
What's that?
Now that we've established Doom is here, Luke can go collect that $200 he's owed. And we get to go see it.
If we ever do get that wonderful story that he basically stole Fantastic Four's aircraft just to get $200, and Doom never let him forget it. That is still funny to me. But yeah. But anyway, I want to get to Chad's part because Chad has been waiting on this.
Waffle House.
Yes, Waffle House. For all those that have not heard, or you're probably just now getting wind of this,
it's the genuine confusion from him for me.
I know. God bless this man for entertaining this.
I mean, it is funny, but at the same time, I have to bring this back up, and give me a second, guys, because I'm going to Twitter, because the only way this can be shown properly is basically by a series of events. Now, as we've all been saying, guys, if you follow Kichiro Harada, who again is, as we know, the guy that runs the show at Tekken, he posted this. And for all those that can't see, I'm going to say it. Okay, I only asked about this request once. Why do some communities send me requests for Waffle House? Please be sure to explain the basis for this request, including the original story, history, and background. I look forward to an explanation from someone who knows more. Now, because fighting game communities, because of this, and if you've ever been to Waffle House and the stories or experiences that you had, a lot of people would consider Waffle House the home of expert fighters. Take that how you will.
What?
Don't worry about that, Chad. It's gonna be over your head on this one. But
Waffle House is for fighters, Denny's is for professional wrestlers. That's how you look at it.
It's like a hyperbolic time chamber. There was a whole woman last year who caught a chair, like Captain Marvel caught a chair thrown at her. It's just, I mean, think about being in there. You experience all the elements and food at the same time.
That's where you go to get your
Hokage fighting stance. That was the crazy part.
And then everyone went Super Saiyan when people from TikTok tried to ask for a Waffle House sandwich, and they found that it was going to run them $20+.
Yep. Well, thank you, Mr. Final Max, home of street fights and card game champions. Yep. Well, with that being said, guys, Mr. Harada did sit there and ask for an explanation. Go ahead, Joe. While we get to the next part. Go ahead.
One thing, and this leads me back to Roy Wood Jr. skit. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that one where he talks about Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Where he talks about, like, commerce is happening in the background. Mm-hmm. That is Waffle House. It's like people are back there throwing fireballs, and I'm just trying here to get myself a grand slam.
It's still funny, but
my thing is somebody had to explain to him, like in street terms, what Waffle House is. It's like it's this chain restaurant in the States where for some reason people like to go in and fight, and everyone around them acts like nothing's happening. And like the Waffle House I went to when I was back in Florida, there's a street called Colonial, but it's technically I-50. Like it's I-50, but it turns into like 8 different streets. It runs that long. On the other end of 50 is where my grandparents live in Ocoee. On the opposite end is Pine Hills, which is exactly what it sounds like. And I used to see when I was in school, once a semester or school year, there are people eating and the windows are gone because there's always like a shootout. Nobody ever gets hit. Nobody who works there ever gets hurt. None of the patrons get hurt. There's always just a shootout in the Waffle House, and there are people eating with birds on the table like nothing is wrong.
Isn't that kind of messed up if you think about it? The fact that it is completely normal. The fact that it's completely normal.
And it's like once every 6 months for like 3 years, and then they just like, all right, we're going to pack this location up and move it to the other end of the street. So far, no crime has happened.
Yet. But I wanted to get to the explanation on this. So after I guess a lot of people have actually responded to him, he does come back and says, thanks for the explanation, guys. And I understand that many people are requesting it. However, I think you are missing one important point. The restaurant has both the trademark and the rights to the restaurant. So if the restaurant chain's headquarters refuses to accept my proposal, it will not happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess for all those of the Tekken 8 variety, if you do want Tekken 8 to be a part, if you do want the Waffle House stage in Tekken 8, you're going to have to lobby Waffle House hard, because I can only imagine his team has already reached out to Waffle House and may have not gotten an answer yet. Or this could just be a red herring, and he's probably got the approval, and it's going to show up in an update. One of the two.
I just realized something.
What's
if
that?
we actually get the stage, it's only going to be a 2D plane level. You can't dodge in a Waffle House. You can't sidestep in and out of the foreground or background. It's only going to be back or forth.
It still be
and
funny,
even then,
though.
one wall carry combo is going to be like 3 moves, because it's only like an 8-foot space. It's not like a 12 or 72 foot by 72 foot air arena.
What if you shove a waffle in someone's mouth as a finisher?
There's no stage interaction.
Nah, there's no interaction with the stages of Chad.
Oh.
It's not like Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's not like Mortal Kombat.
When you said Mortal Kombat, I saw this video where this guy said, "Try out the new honey bun soda."
You know the messed up part about this is, what if, and before we get to our trailer, just a curiosity as we mentioned Mortal Kombat, what if Mortal Kombat does get an interactive Waffle House stage?
I just want to be able to play a scorpion and shove a waffle.
Bro, I wish I could send you. I found one of the articles. God, I wish I could put it in the chat right now. Actually, yes, I can. I'm pretty sure this cop, if you can see the image, I'm pretty sure this cop is ordering his food while taking a report of the window being shot out.
Hang on, let me see if I can pull it up. Hang on, because now you have my attention. I have to see what it looks like. But yeah, just out of curiosity, if that oh good Lord, that is wow. Hang on, I got it.
She is definitely taking an order while giving him a report, and the windows are gone like nothing ever happened. And there's like 4 other articles for this same location.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest. Whether Tekken 8 or Mortal Kombat, this is marketing. I'm sorry, that's marketing.
If they sleep on it and he's playing us and doesn't file for it, Mortal Kombat, Street Fight, somebody go ahead and just snake it if he's playing with it.
I'm just saying, Waffle House has got to have a number that can be reached, and I really do think it is possible. But still, yeah, Laney. But still, I think it's gonna be pretty great. What's your hand up for, sir?
So if instead of Tekken, what if Mortal Kombat gets what's it called?
Gets Waffle House?
Gets the Waffle House stage.
No, they'll get Denny's.
Able to pick up a waffle off of a table and wall combo the person, and for like the little finish thingy.
But here's the thing though. As cool as it would be, he does got a point. Waffle House either got a high number or they got a morality clause. Either way.
I want to put an explosive bomb on a waffle and shove it down someone's throat as a finish.
No, for a Waffle House stage, you would throw them into the window of the Waffle House. You would hear them like get jumped in the background and then thrown back out, like covered.
Yeah, Final Max beat me to it. A Waffle Alley? You're basically asking for a Waffle Alley, Chad. Okay. I'm not against it.
No, it just gives new meaning to the word scatter, covered, chunked, and topped.
And it reminds me of this one video I saw where there's a guy that
you beat me by 1 second, Joe. You beat me by 1 second.
That is also how I take my hash browns.
But it would be interesting as far as how that was go. Like I said, this would open up brand marketing. Waffle House is only the beginning. Lord knows we'll probably see everything else on this side.
Chicken nuggets.
You just want to see somebody get chicken nuggets off.
No, I just want to see someone pull out chicken nuggets for daggers and just start chucking them at someone's eyes.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that one.
King of the Iron Waffle Tournament, we all agree.
Mouth.
That would be great. A fighting tournament sponsored by Waffle House. DreamCon, where are you?
Just saying that's marketing gold. But moving right along, guys, we do gotta get to one of our trailers. We are gonna start with My Hero Academia Season 7 as we get closer to their release. And here's a trailer for it.
みんなで取り戻すんだ。戦いは避けられなくても、その奥にあるものを無視はしたくない。超人社会の行き着く先、来たるべき未来から目を背けてきたお前たちにはわからないさ。
ここで終わらせ、ここから始めるつもりだ。ヒーローは守るものが多い。だから負けるんだぜ。この戦いを終わらせるのが俺の使命だ。
黙認されあちこちに蓄積されてきた歪み、それが俺たちだ。いいからやろうぜ。もう始まってんだ。有史以来の最強のヴィランとの戦いがよ。エイリアは誰も置いていかなかった。同じクラスになれたことを誇りに思う。頑張れチャージだチャージだ。頑張ろう。
これは未来をつかむ戦いだ。友を信じる。
必ず止めよう。さあ、ヴィラン退治だ。俺が風穴ぶち開ける。焼けて捨てよ。俺たちのために。せやしねえよ。バカ兄貴。世界も私を拒むな。私も世界を拒む。俺がサポートするよが。俺の望みはただ一つ。すべての崩壊だ。もう誰も傷つけさせはしない。
All right, guys, and that was the season 2 trailer, season 7 trailer for My Hero Academia. As you see, it's not too far off from it being released. And again, I'm all for it. But guys, your thoughts on the upcoming season? Because I know a friend of ours, Mayhem Media, did ask about this because he kind of stopped watching. Now is the perfect time to watch, just because it is starting to go into the final part of My Hero Academia, as it is going to take on the war with All for One and basically Shirogami. But I'm loving it. And as Mr. Final Max, Cyborg Buddy, time for more money.
And keep a good girl down.
I mean, really, but I can't knock it. But guys, what do we think about this?
Go for it, Tafari, because I'm going to do nothing but be mean.
Hey,
I feel like if this isn't going to be the final season, they're definitely going to split it into 2 parts, because the final stuff is kind of dragging right now. It's finally picking back up.
Yeah.
But, like, bro, if you need a break, please just take one at this point. Like, some of these chapters are only 7 pages. I'm like, we're getting nowhere fast. But I will say, I hope they don't drag this out, because when it gets to the final battle, it kind of just happens. There's not a lot of breathing room between where we're at now and where the fight takes place. So I'm really hoping it isn't like the first 12 episodes. But I'm also hoping they don't skip out on the fights, because somebody leaked like a lot of the deleted frames from like the My Villain Academia stuff, and people were not happy. Like they cheaped out that entire arc really bad.
Yeah, so that was the Dark Deku arc, with the Dark Deku arc, which they wasn't really well received, but again, I thought it was pretty cool. It's worth a rewatch now, especially since that story is actually, that arc is already wrapped. But again, with the final war coming up, that's pretty much going to signal the end. For all those who are wondering, Fire Force season 3 is eventually going to be, it's rumored to be this summer, but
finally, because they've been done longer than done longer than Dr. Stone, which came out at the same time.
Well, the thing about it is it's been rumored they swapped studios, and if they still follow their previous times, like they've always came back in July, either around the 4th or the 8th. This also could be the fact that Fire Force season 3 does start in July at the same time, but again, it's unconfirmed. But sir, as a person that loves My Hero Academia, you're very silent over here. No thoughts? Nothing?
Yes, I have.
All right, we gave him a drag.
I have something.
Okay.
Why does Deku look like he's depressed?
Heroes are always depressed.
Why?
Have you not met any therapists in New York in the Marvel Universe? Those people make bank.
Right.
This is
There's no therapist.
Yeah, there's no therapist.
We're about to actually look at a comic where the characters are all talking to a therapist, Chad. So there's therapy.
I honestly think Thanos snapped out all the therapists in New York.
Oh no, if he did, there'd be a lot more crime. But no. But are you looking forward to season 7 of My Hero Academia?
Kinda.
What's the kind of part?
All for One is like what I'm trying to see here. When did he get raised back from the dead like he's Lazarus?
Well, again, that was last season where he basically took over somebody's body.
Yeah, but how did he get his own body back if he was in whatever his name is, his body? I'm just going to try Guy 2.0.
So that sounds like me. That sounds like me and you have to rewatch the last season.
I watched it 2 days ago.
And you can't remember?
No.
So basically, he is inside of Shigaraki the same way Deku has the vestiges, but he's more like Venom. He's actively in there at the same time while also holding his own mind and influencing what he does. So he's conscious. He's not really giving him free will. He's giving him his power, but he's kind of just invading two bodies at once.
Yeah, he can't control Shigaraki yet. Because he basically think of it like Orochimaru teaching Sasuke. Yeah. Look at it that way. Remember how Orochimaru wanted Sasuke's body?
Yes.
But he couldn't control Sasuke, but he taught him power? Same idea. So you are now up to speed. But again, with that coming out though. But what are you gonna say, Joe?
No, I'm not looking forward to it. I am ready for this thing to be about as long as Wano or Rose Impelled Down, or whichever one was the saga that last one was 500 episodes. The manga drags. The anime's been dragging for a while. This author just needs to wrap it up at this point because, like, as Tafari said, we're getting like maybe 8 pages, 7 pages if we're lucky. Mm-hmm. And, I honestly think at this point he's stretching it out for like a specific number.
Yeah.
Are we really close to like 500 or something?
I feel like we're getting there, and I think Naruto. I think Naruto did the same thing. There were some chapters where we were like, "What? What was the point of this?" And then we like, "Okay, we ended right on 700. Maybe that's what he was aiming for."
So I feel like he's purposely stretching out to be like 500 for no reason. Like, this could have been done so much quicker if you just did more.
Hey, Lizzie.
How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing fine. How about yourself? I'm not to cut you off, Joe. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks for joining us. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Hope you guys have been okay this week.
We've been making it. But I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead and continue what you thought.
I don't have it in me to watch this anymore. Mm-hmm. When there's other things out, like we got Kaiju number 8 coming next week. I think we got Go-Go Luigi Ranger
coming up
tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, tomorrow.
We got other things going on. I'm still working on Fearin', Journey into the Beyond, which for me that's wonderful. But I like a little bit of existential crisis every now and then. Keep my life in perspective.
I got to start Spy Family.
Huh?
I got to start Spy Family because my sister wants to see the movie next weekend.
Oh, Spy Family is going to be great. We actually have the trailer for that.
Spy Family. I mean, I just don't have it in me to watch another overly protracted anime arc for no reason.
Fair enough. Well, Lizzie, what we're talking about, we actually just showed the trailer for the season 7 of My Hero Academia. Really quickly, are you looking forward to it? And how you feel about it?
Oh man, it's the fact that we had to wait so long, but I understand why we had to wait so long because like the creators' health and everything like that. We didn't even know when we were going to get the season. They said there's going to be they said at some point because like there's a different part of the series that he made talking more about like the Hero Academy and stuff like that. They were saying at first like, oh, we're gonna get that before we get the season, and then all of a sudden now we're getting it May 4th. So I was like, oh, I didn't even know until I checked like a few weeks ago. So I'm excited. I'm excited because like whoever reads like the manga is kind of interesting right now, especially. So like I'm excited to see it animated. So
cool. All right. That's that. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to it as well. I've loved My Hero since it started, and still find myself trying to go back to the manga and kind of remember some things. But again, still looking forward to it. We're still waiting on Fire Force though, because I need to show up. I need Fire Force to show up because I need to see if what I believe is going to happen is going to happen. But that's for another day. So a couple of movie news before we get to our summer games, because really the next part of our news is really tied up in video games. Ryan Coogler has decided that he is doing an X-Files reboot. For all those that don't know about X-Files, especially during a wonderful time on Fox called the X-Files, which did do Mulder and Scully. Again, a great series if you haven't seen it. But anyway, Mr. Coogler himself has decided that he wants to do a reboot of this. And of course, Gillian Anderson, who did play Dana Scully, did sit there and say that she would be open to coming back into the movie, quote unquote. Maybe I'll pop in for a little something. She believes that Coogler is a brilliant director and thinks that they can take X-Files a different direction, and that if she was asked, she would come back. So,
what's the X-Files? Is that the show with the
wrong beat, but you're right. You're in the right area.
Yeah, he's in the right.
You're in the right area, but wrong beat. Right. But no, the X-Files. Just to in a time, was the X-Files before you? Yeah. Oh wow, I forgot. I keep forgetting Chad your age sometimes. Yes, the X-Files was actually a little bit before your time. It was literally a story about the paranormal that was investigated by 2 FBI agents, and it was a great show for its run. And now they're trying to bring it back.
Is it basically Supernatural?
Supernatural,
more extraterrestrial or cryptid.
Thank you. Yeah, more extraterrestrial.
The theme song. Power Rangers went off and X-Files came on. You cross into adult territory.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Final Max. Raising a new generation of conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, yep. That's the last thing.
But what do we think, guys? I mean, do we want to see a reboot of X-Files, and do we want to see Gillian come back and revise her role as Scully? Do we want to see old boy come back as Mulder? Just curious.
I don't think we'll get David Duchovny to come back. I think he's one of those types of people, but I think Gillian Anderson will be great. I do want to see Ryan Coogler do this because we all know he's a colossal anime nerd. So I want to see how many tropes or homages he's going to try and hide in an X-Files series of his doing. Because we all know he's done it in Kong.
Mm-hmm.
He just straight out says, like, no, Kong's just a Nazaru. He's just a Nazaru. We paid homage to Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see what goofiness he can like hide in this.
Fair enough. Safari, Lizzie, what do y'all guys think?
I was too young for X-Files, so I'm not afraid of diving into new territory via a return. So Coogler is enough of a dork like us. I'll give it a shot.
Okay. Lizzie?
Yeah, I have a little bit of like probably just because like my aunt, she's like into all of those things and like all those like things related to it. So I watched like a few episodes. I'm not that knowledgeable in it, but I'm always into things like that. And like you said, right, Ryan Coogler is up that alley where I feel like he can put a twist to it. So I'll see how it goes. See if it's good.
Nice. I'm the same way. I remember the X-Files. I love the series. I would love to see what Coogler does with it. I would love to see both Mulder and Scully come back. But like Joe said, getting Mr. Duchovny to show up, just don't hire the guy from don't hire the guy from Aliens. I was like, that guy, the guy with the messed up hair. It just goes back to that meme every time I see it. But again, I would be all for it. But aside from that, outside of an X-Files reboot, are we ready for another Matrix movie?
No.
For some odd reason, there is a movie in the works with Drew Goddard directing, Lana Wachowski executive producing. This will be the first time a Matrix film will not have a Wachowski directing. Right now, there is no note on whether or not Keanu Reeves or
Kate Moss.
Thank you. Or Kate Moss or Lawrence Fishburne will be revising their roles. So I mean, don't get me wrong, the last Matrix movie that they did really did not perform as well as they thought it would. Do we really need another Matrix movie?
So, interestingly, I actually had a friend who had a really weird movie conspiracy theory. The John Wick movies are a version of the Matrix that was keeping Neo hostage the whole time, which is why you see cameos from other Matrix actors. But as for having another Matrix movie, God no, because I remember the last time we had one, I shut the movie off midway through and read a synopsis on Wikipedia just so we could have content for the podcast.
That's right.
God awful.
That's right.
I didn't make it through the fourth one either.
Lizzie?
No. No, I'm sorry. It's just like that the movie, the franchise in general with the original cast is just too iconic. If they're not gonna bring them back to reprise their role, it's not like you said, the last one didn't work out. So I don't know.
I remember exactly what I said. Sorry, Lizzie, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, no problem.
I remember exactly what I said.
Yeah.
It was, this movie is like Coming to America. It does nothing but flashback and remind you of better movies.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's kind of petty, but dang.
No, remember,
but yes,
that's exactly what we talked about.
That's exactly what you said. I remember that. That's exactly what you said. Good Lord, that was what, 4 or 5 months ago, give or take.
Someone needs to tell him that was 2 years ago and not hurt his feelings.
Dang. No, I thought the last one was last time dragging this out. No, I agree with that too. Don't get me wrong. I get the Matrix. It was fine for what it was. This feels like it's a cash grab. It's really dragging. You guys let us know in the comments what you think. I just don't see the benefits of another Matrix movie. I really don't. But before we do get into our video game news, because a lot of our news is tied to Summer of Games and Xbox rumors as well. But Spy Family, again, Tafari, I know you are about to get into it. I highly recommend that you do. It is a wonderful anime to watch. Yes. That being said, the first OVA movie for it has already came out, and the trailer about to play is basically called Spy Family, Code White, and here's the trailer.
We've lost all contact with our agents stationed in Phrygia. You must retrieve the microfilm without fail.
It's going to instantly destroy the fragile peace between the East and West.
Pack your bags. We're heading out.
Is that Lloyd? Did I just see him kiss her?
Who's there? My flower divination will tell me where you're hiding anyway.
This chocolate thief! Super evil, do it! That's
We went through the trouble of hiding the microfilm in a truffle only to have it eaten.
Don't take this personally. I'll get them back, whatever it takes.
I told you before, war is upon us. Obliterate him! Do not let him escape!
Pardon me! I'm looking for my husband and our little girl!
You fool. Your family will perish in flames.
I'm counting on you, Twilight. That microfilm could change the world.
Consider this mission completed without a hitch. Wait for me, Anya. Spy Family, Code White.
And that was the trailer, guys, for Spy Family Code White, which will be in theaters. I want to say sometime this April. I'm sorry, I don't have an exact date for that.
Next weekend.
Thank you, Tafari.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just it looks great. So guys, roundtable. Are we watching it? Are we going to go see it? How do we feel about it?
I'm like
April
internal screaming. I'm internal
19th.
screaming for it.
April 19th. So 2 weeks from now is where we're going.
Right, quite a bunch of goons getting bodied is right.
Yeah.
What were you saying? What were you saying, Lizzie?
No, I'm internally screaming, and it's kind of apparent, but no, I do love the series. I've been waiting for it. I just gotta catch up to the last few episodes of the second season. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm very ready.
Nice, Joe.
Oh, I won't be able to see it. It falls on my mother's birthday, and then the following week is my aunt's birthday.
Oh wow, you got.
I think it's around for a couple weeks. I don't think it's out for just one. I don't know why it says only April 19th. That's when the theaters start showing it. It's going to be around for me, though.
Okay,
She lives
it
next
probably
door.
will be.
There is no escape.
But no, it definitely does look great. I'm with you guys. I've watched Spy Family. I love the anime, and the OVA just looks great for that. So again, as Tafari said, it'll be movie theaters April 19th. It's probably gonna have a nice little small run there. But definitely check it out. Again, let us know what you think about that. But
is it on Crunchyroll, since that's my only option now?
Yeah, yes. Crunchyroll is the only option.
Yes.
Now.
Yes, it is on Crunchyroll.
I have 2 weeks to binge.
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
I remember watching season 1 on Hulu.
Well, you can watch the anime of Spy Family on Hulu, but as far as the movie goes, Crunchyroll said run your pockets.
Oh,
exactly.
Crunchyroll said run your pockets if you don't watch the OVA. But
I'm still mad about them nonsense behind emails I got this week. That was
which again, for all those, as Safari is pointing out before we get into the video game news, yes, Funimation and Crunchyroll were having issues because if you bought things off Funimation, especially the digital copies, unfortunately, what was the fear is actually which is actually now reality. Unfortunately, those things will not be supported, which means if you're having any issues with things that you bought from Funimation, Crunchyroll will not support them, but they will, I believe, credit you. But I think the credits are a joke, aren't they, Safari?
I didn't even get credit. Hold on, let me pull the email back up because I still have it from the video I made the other day because I was that annoyed.
Damn.
Blah blah blah. Happy to assist, my ass. Note the digital copies available on Funimation where access on content available on DVDs or Blu-ray purchases explained. Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies. And then the next one I got, what did they offer? Oh, as a token of our appreciation for your continued membership, we're sending you a credit for 3 months of Crunchyroll Mega Fan so you can enjoy your favorite anime. So for the 4 movies, I got an email from Crunchyroll, then I tried it with Funimation and basically copy and paste. So 4 movies at least the ones that I had digitally, let's say $20 a piece, that's $80 of movies, and they gave me $60 worth of free streaming, which runs out in 6 months.
So they basically sat there and said, we can't fix your problem, and at the same time sat there and said, hey, come watch us. That's petty.
Exactly.
That's petty is what that is.
Here's 6 months on us. Here's 6 months on us. Sorry.
But that's Crunchyroll right now. I mean, they unfortunately became the villain that they were supposed to slay. But with the world, I mean, that's the world of anime right now. Everything outside of going to the Grand Line, which you are more than welcome to go to the Grand Line. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of things you can find out there on the Grand Line. But that's upon you. We don't support it or say you should. That's completely up to you. But yeah, thank you, Tafari. But but yeah, Crunchyroll is unfortunately just that area to where we just cannot. I mean, those prices are going to increase, and again, we might be, as Mr. Final Max said it best, going back to being pirates.
Yo ho ho ho.
Yeah, they're the anime fans. That's all.
Yeah, I mean it's something else. But again, going into gamer news, guys, before we get into our Invincible and X-Men reviews. What I mean by reviews is we're probably going to go a little bit light since one series actually did wrap up its season, and the other episode Really had a lot of Easter eggs, so we're not going to really go too deep into those episodes, but just to kind of give a general consensus what we thought about that. But before we do get to that, we do got to get to the fact that Ubisoft Forward has decided that they're going to go head-to-head with Summer of Games. Now, if you've been watching our podcast, me and Joe do cover Summer of Games, which is basically Geoff Johns' video game awards, except in the summertime. We watch it basically for the trailers. Say what, Joe?
Jeff Keighley. Geoff Johns is the Green Lantern author.
Well, both of them suck. But aside from that, we basically watch it for the trailers. And of course, Ubisoft Forward, which again, as me and Joe have said before, a lot of these companies are going away from E3 and doing their own type of showcases. Ubisoft Forward has decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this in the same week as Summer of Games, which for guys like us who do actually do a lot of prep work for podcasts, we hate y'all because now we have to do double time on this. And again, as you see in the picture there, yes, the rumor is for Ubisoft Forward, they are going to talk about the next Assassin's Creed game, which is supposed to be set up in Japan. Arguably, it's still called Code Red. They haven't really gave it an official title yet. But again, it is one of the games to be rumored to show in Ubisoft Forward. Also, what we're going to be seeing next week will be the Star Wars Outlaws trailers. They'll be for their for their main storyline. Star Wars Outlaws was another game that was actually shown last year during the Disney D3 conference, I believe. They did actually show that game there, and it looked great from what they've shown as far as the trailer, but we have not heard spit since. But with the story trailer being released next week, guys, I mean, is the hype real about another Star Wars game, or are we just hoping they just don't screw this up?
I mean, there's a B1 battle droid. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I need to see what type of game we're dealing with because, like, Fallen Order and Survivor were great, but they were the buggy messes I expected them to be.
Yep. And this one, and again, for all those that don't remember about Star Wars Outlaws, it's basically supposed to be what the Mandalorian game was supposed to be. It was supposed to be open world. It was supposed to be third person. It was supposed to be their version of just traveling through the Outer Rim. Basically, you're basically Han Solo in so many ways. But it's supposed to have a divisive story. It's supposed to be interactive. It's supposed to draw you in. It's just the fact that since that showing back a year ago, we haven't heard spit since. So to me, I'm expecting a lot with this trailer next week. It better either make or break the hype. I think that, I want to be on the positive side and say Disney may have a hit. I'm not very sure because we have heard zero status about it. But I mean, guys, what do you think about that one? Because I see Lizzie is kind of like in the I don't know stance. Like, is that how you feel?
Because like from my friends that like play games more often than even I do, and like just the track record that I've heard, it's been a very bad toss up. So I think at this point they're just like their expectations are really low. So they're like, as long as they don't mess it up. So that's why I'm just like I'm praying that it goes well.
I mean, I can understand that because I was on the fence with Survivor and with the Jedi games, and I thought that both games were done very well. So I'm kind of hoping the streak continues, but we will see. But what did you say about this, Chad? You didn't like the droid?
I'm not saying I don't like the droid. It's just the B1 battle droid.
So the B1 battle droid, why are we against it?
Why is there a B1 battle? What does a B1 battle droid have to do?
Well, he could be an outlaw.
Yeah, but and also another thing. Why is there just an axolotl on someone's shoulder?
A lot of questions that we hope to get answered next week.
Okay.
But that's the way we look at it. A lot of questions we hope to get answered next week with the trailer.
Basically, space Laura Croft.
You say that like that's a bad thing.
Guy who doesn't know what he's talking about right
now. Wait. Repeat that first one one more time.
Space Laura Croft.
Space Outlaw Laura Croft?
Same thing.
Space
I like how he says that was a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It just I've never heard it put that way.
I mean, I was gonna acquaint this to Uncharted, We've already seen the gameplay trailer from the initial build, and that looks fantastic.
Yeah, true. I still wish we could have got our Mandalorian game, but that's
Space
just me.
Outlaw Laura Croft.
Yeah,
Matt guy who has anger issues right there, and he looks depressed. That's
He's
the water
from the Empire, so he's British.
Yeah, I mean that's how he always was. But
Ahsoka Tano's brother in the bottom corner.
Oh, you're talking about
that's
him.
Not Ahsoka. That's not the right race. So don't be a spacist.
Or Ayla Secura's people, ain't it? The Twi'leks?
Yeah,
that's a Twi'lek.
Either way, it looks like it's going to be interesting. But we do have a couple of rumors though. One I'm kind of mad about because Phil Spencer. Again, if you ever do watch this podcast, sir, I'm gonna be angry if this is an April Fool's joke. Because at the next big Xbox event, and again, this is a rumor, take it with a grain of salt. We are supposed to see the next installment of Gears of War, labeled Gears of War 6. Again, this is rumored. It is not confirmed. It's supposed to be at the next big Xbox event. As a guy that loves Gears of War to the point to where I go back and play it multiple times, and the fact of how you left us hanging on Gears 5, I hope this is true. Only because I have been saying this in the world of multi-person games and open world single player games. I have been hoping that we got another installment of Gears of War because of how you left 5. I will not talk about how 5 ended. If you played 5, you know what I'm talking about.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Are they on a different planet in 5?
Yes.
No.
No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking different game. No, they're still the same planet. Still the same planet.
Okay, how does that work? Because that planet they're on is more hollow than the hollow Earth in Kong Godzilla.
Right, like
how is there
when I got to Gears 3, I'm like, how many things in this planet is trying to kill them? Like maybe the humans are the infection.
Well, here's the thing, because I'm just to give a synopsis. 1, the planet was stable. 2, it was unstable. 3, I'm surprised it was still standing. 4, it was already off the rails, and then 5 was like end of days. So I'm not even sure how 6 is gonna look. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They're just gonna reveal that this planet is Unicron at this point.
But no, but again, it's one of my favorite games. It needs to show because right now Xbox needs a win. Xbox seriously needs a win. And again, outside of not giving us the next Killer Instinct, you better give us a Gears of War 6. That's just my opinion on that. But Safari, Lizzie, have y'all played Gears of War? Or if y'all did, how y'all feel about this?
I got through the first 3, and then I was like, I didn't know that there was room for a 4th. And then it's just like, I thought we were fighting like this one group of people, and then it just apparently there's just new things on this planet that are always waiting to come kill us. And I'm just like, how are these never hinted at each other or crossing paths? And didn't we like blow up and eradicate the entire like race on the 3rd one or something like that?
Here's the weird part, and I give them credit for this. How they actually dealt with the grubs and pretty much said the last thing that killed them was the device on 3, but somehow enemies had evolved from their, I guess, bodies, and that's how we wound up with the swarm. So that's why I was like, okay, it's a little bit of weak sauce storytelling, but I'll roll with it just because I want to see how far they go along with it. So yeah, you are right, Safari. The fact that you're kind of dealing with a new wave of enemies, but they did come from the previous ones. But I again, it's that I have to see how the story ends. Like you ever been like I've told people, I said, here's how you ever been playing games. You ever played a video game series for so long that you have to know how it ends, even though it might be seriously degrading. That's how I feel. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Gears of War 6 is going to do that because 5 was great. Mechanics were great. They gave new weapons. They gave new ways of fighting enemies. So they did do a lot that I did like. I hope they do the same with 6 just because it's been that long between 5 and the next installment. But again,
they also do like a major retcon just for Marcus Phoenix's son to even be born because I'm fairly certain they drop a line about his mom being a certain something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, no, she can have kids again.
Well, his mom being lineage. Yeah, it was a weird weak soft story.
Oh, they said something very different about Anya in one of the games.
Oh, they tried to connect it. They tried to connect it to Locust Queen. They tried.
Are the Carmine brothers?
It's a weak soft game. It's a weak soft story, I should say.
Are the Carmine brothers or whoever still getting like hilariously killed off every game?
Yes. Well, actually,
no. Remember, at that point, he becomes like 38 from Venture Brothers, where the final one is like the ultimate badass.
Actually, the 1-on-3 survived.
Yeah.
So the 1-on-3 did survive. It was 4 and 5 that didn't make it, which was still weird. A Carmine always gets killed somewhere except for 3. But either way, I'm just looking forward to this. In the same sense that I'm looking forward to this, if it's true. We could be seeing Ghost of Tsushima 2. Now, again, me and Joe, we talked about Ghost of Tsushima. We loved it to death. Even the director's cut, which actually came out a year later, was also great. Now, keep in mind, this is a rumor. PlayStation has not came out. PlayStation has not came out and said this is happening. It's the fact that insiders have sat there and said, "Well, this is supposed to go along with the adaptation of the PS4 Pro, PS5 Pro, which we do know that system is coming out, and this is supposed to be going with it, or it might be farther along. But if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, you really Ghost of Tsushima. I keep on mispronouncing that. It's great because it is basically, in a sense, it's a samurai game that we've always wanted with an Assassin's Creed storyline to it. If you never played it. But it is still worth the time. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But the fact that 2's coming out, which I wonder where the story goes with on this one, because the first one was kind of a more complete story. I'm not going to spoil it for you because, again, how 1 ended may kind of connect to how 2 begins, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But Joe, go ahead.
You could just go how history goes. Kublai Khan returns 7 years with double the size of the fleet and tries to reinvade Japan from the port of Tsushima again.
Could be.
He gets taken out the exact same way the last fleet does because he came in tsunami season.
That is also true. I want to see something different. If it is, like I said, if it is a rumor, because we know a PS5 Pro is coming because Sony's got to make money. And the fact that, for me, it's like, I would love to have PS5, but again, it's just all you need to do is upgrade the memory. I mean, the graphics are already running at 4K. You're already getting higher frame rates. What do you actually need a Pro for?
I mean, yeah, I don't see a point.
You don't see a point?
I mean, you have every game that you could ever need on PlayStation 5.
That is also true. Well, do you have every game?
Huh?
Do you have every game on PS5?
No.
Okay, I need to check my wallet.
I want to give
Yeah, check my wallet. You got every game. Like, hold on, how are you getting every game on PS5? But no, but guys, what do we think? Is it these rumors may have some fire to them, but how do we feel about it?
I mean, I didn't play Ghost, but I know it had people in a chokehold for a while, and I didn't hear anything bad about it. So if they do get a second one, as long as they just improve on the first, they will do well.
I mean, but the first one, that's how I feel. I mean, the first one was, I'm not gonna lie, the first one was kind of perfect. I mean, I didn't really see any problem. And correct me if I'm wrong. And again, I may be seeing this with rose-colored glasses. I didn't see a problem with the battle mechanics. I didn't see a problem with the fighting. I didn't see a problem with the graphics. I didn't see a bug. Outside of God of War, I can't say to me, it's a flawless game unless people have seen things differently. I could be wrong.
No, this was better than God of War.
You said it was better than God?
Here's how I know it's better than God of War.
Go ahead.
I can make a 1 foot jump from one platform to the other.
I mean, you're not wrong, but maybe I'm putting my emotions in it because God of War was don't get me wrong, Ghost of Tsushima was a great story, but God of War though, especially with Ragnarok, it's kind of hard.
Well, I mean, again, Kratos, Slayer of Pantheons, Sire of Loki, can't make a simple 1 foot hop from one part of a pier to another. Meanwhile, the dude from Japan, he can make that hop. In armor.
See, you're looking at it from a platform standpoint, and I get that. I'm looking more along the lines of story and gameplay. That's why I'm just like, oh, that's kind of that's.
No, what I'm really pointing out is Ghost of Tsushima did not have unnecessary level padding. Now we did have a huge map with a lot of areas, but that's Western RPG mentality of go everywhere, do everything.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what we always do. We always try to search for Easter eggs. That's what we are.
Oh yeah, but like I said, but when in Ghost of Tsushima,
can they swim?
Yeah, we can swim.
But no, I'm sorry, Joe. What you said?
But my problem with Ragnarok is that like your levels were fantastic, but you're still funneling through a hallway and you're padding out your levels unnecessarily.
I mean, I could see that as well. So that's why I'm like, I'm just indifferent about it. But the last game news I get to, guys, before we get to our next trailer for Ultraman, Splinter Cell is also Splinter Cell remake is also being teased, which will also supposedly be a part of Ubisoft Forward. Splinter Cell again is supposed to be a sneaking / Metal Gear Solid game. I love the last one. I love the last couple of games, the Blacklist, Retribution. I kind of hope there is another one just because of that. But again, it's supposed to be rumored with Ubisoft Forward, so we'll see whether or not it appears. But Splinter Cell fans, aside from me in this podcast, are we feeling about it? Or are we like, why?
I was not a Splinter Cell person, so this one is above me.
Lizzie?
I have limited knowledge. I've heard from my husband. He's only got to play a little bit, so I'm just kind of just like hope for the best. You know with these rumors, because it could be a rumor and then we find out like 3 years later it's not a thing. So I'm just kind of just like, let's see what happens.
I would be heartbroken. I would be it's not there for Gear 6 to me. Like it's like giving me a Halo game I can actually care about, because Infinite could have been so much better, but I don't want to go down that route. I don't want to do that route of brand tickets. We'll be here for the next 2 hours, and I don't want to do that to anybody. But I am hoping the rumors are true. But as we get closer to summer games, we'll actually see a lot more about that. So hopefully we'll get some solidified answers. But we definitely will be talking about the trailer for Star Wars Outlaws next week, whether or not it makes or breaks the game. But Ultraman Arc, before I play the trailer, Joe, you want to let people know what it's about?
So much like last year, we finally got the trailer for the new season of Ultraman, which will be able to be watched on the Ultraman channel on YouTube for free in both multilingual simultaneous release. Mm-hmm. Much like last year, we had Ultraman Blazar, or as we just like to call him, Caveman Ultraman, because literally that was the biggest thing on that one. Mm-hmm. He really was just Caveman Ultraman. We are doing a new series, Ultraman Arc. This is the 34th entry in the Ultra series. He will be simultaneously streamed and dubbed with English, Mandarin, Cantonese, Taiwanese, Thai, Indonesian, and Vietnamese dubs with subtitles. The biggest note is that the director for this series, as soon as I can find it, is where are you? Staff. There we go. Takanori Tsujimoto was the last time he did anything was Ultraman X. He is also a huge fan of the original Showa era. So expect old school monsters and more old school aesthetic, because Ultraman Blazar was very, very new school and sometimes very concept. For those unaware, Ultraman X dealt with a lot of make monster into armor pieces. So we're expecting Ultraman Arc to have some cosmetic and armament, as that is Tsujimoto's thing. I will say this, just from the trailer alone, I'm probably going to get that Henshin device. So I'm going to need to be left alone to my own devices on a Tokusatsu toy site again.
Oh, you know you will be. Well, with that being said, guys, here's the trailer for Ultraman Arc.
ウルトラマンアーク
And that was the trailer, guys, for Ultraman Arc. As you can see, will be July 6th, 9 a.m. Japan Standard Time. But yeah, let's see, let me kind of get us back. There we are. What do you say for Final Max Transformation Trinket basically being a puzzle's fun? Yeah, I'm digging that. But it looks like it's going to be a good series. Guys, what do we think?
I know nothing about Ultraman. I know he's big over there, so I'm sure his diehard fans are happy. But I know he's one of those things I see. I always see Blu-rays and stuff for Ultraman. I never was attached to the material, so clearly it's out there for someone.
Yeah.
So I would actually recommend this for you, Tafari, because it's one of the easily most accessible to get a hold of or watch. They are also learned the lesson that most tokusatsu series do not. Their production values are so high they only last 26 episodes. So it's very easy to binge. It's all connected. It's a giant multiverse, and before you take that into a bad way, they don't play like goofy multiverse like Marvel does. They're just like, oh, you're an Ultraman from this universe. Cool. Or, oh, hey, you remind me of my dude over here. It's no goofiness that we're dealing with the Marvel universe where it's like, we got to worry about a pizza papa or pizzas around or stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say go give it a shot. In fact, they had real big. The last year's was Ultraman Blazar, and the English dub is perfectly fine. Adam the Black Ranger dubbed the main character.
Okay.
So Johnny McBosh was the voice
Johnny, nice.
Series. You'll get to go see Caveman Unga Bunga goofiness with Blazar. I'm not joking.
It really is.
His fighting style is kind of like a Muay Thai fighter, but
yeah,
he doesn't even do have a traditional ray attack until a certain point in the series. So go give it a shot. I would just recommend it because it's so easy to binge.
Lizzie, have you had any experience with Ultraman, or is this your first time seeing it?
I've heard about it. I haven't really delved into it, but I like just from the trailer alone. I like how they're just like, "This is what I am. I'm nothing more. I'm nothing less." It was straight to the point. So I was like, okay, I could see why this is popular. They ain't trying to beat around the bush. They ain't trying to be convoluted. Just like, this is what it is. Like, go watch it. So I mean, by that, I'm like, I'll give it more of a shot.
And they come with really fun transformation devices.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Well, before we kind of get to the end for our comic book pulls, a few last things. I would be remiss because me and Joe and Tafari and Lizzie, are you a fan of wrestling by any chance?
I watch it here and there. I won't say I'm the biggest fan, I gotta be honest, but like I like hearing about it.
Okay. Well, me and Joe, we usually try to keep ahead of ourselves, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about WrestleMania 40. Again, it's after SmackDown tonight. It does go into the Hall of Fame, which again does have an interesting Hall of Fame class that's actually going to be inducted this year. WrestleMania, for all those who don't know, it is a 2-night event. It is going to be on Peacock. Night one will definitely have a lot of great matches. However, the biggest one will not happen until night 2, which is basically Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. As you can see there, they will have a ladder pack. They will have a ladder match for the Undisputed Tag Team Champions titles. Of course, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill will be facing Damage Control in a 6-woman tag match. Really quickly, and I wish I had a picture of this because the one thing I will say about this type of WrestleMania is the fact that we're seeing a lot of first. And the first I'm getting at is more representation, especially for black athletes. And again, to actually not only see at one point we saw Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks at the time headline WrestleMania. We're now actually seeing 3 black women actually have a main match in WrestleMania. So there's a lot of great things. I'm sorry, what are you saying, Tafari?
I was saying salute to them because even that picture being out.
Yeah, I had the picture up and I should have actually started out with that, so I apologize. But yeah, it's the whole thing of just all of that actually happening. Again, with everything else going on WrestleMania, it is just really and truly a great time. However, we won't really go into a lot. Like I said before, I just wanted to show this particular picture really quickly, just because I think it's freaking awesome. To actually see that for the first time in wrestling. I'm sorry, the first time in WWE since the man who shall not be named is no longer a part of it. Because they don't even say his name anymore. That just tells you how bad it is. But to actually see Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi all team up, it's still a beautiful thing. And like I said, there's really a lot of matches going on there. But the main question that I'm just going to ask everybody is, will you be watching? Because I definitely know we will here at our house. But what about you guys? Will y'all also be watching WrestleMania 40?
If I can get to the TV that has Peacock signed in.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll try.
I'm at a friend's Mania party the next 2 days.
Oh, so you're definitely gonna be watching. What do you say, Lizzie?
No, I said I'm gonna try.
Fair enough. But yeah, it literally is gonna be a fun time. I'm just happy the fact that representation is a big thing. And representation definitely does matter. So I am looking freaking forward to this 2-night event. Just because.
KSI?
Huh?
Is that KSI in the background?
Who's KSI?
Wait, was that a match? Was Logan Paul in that match?
No. Logan Paul is actually going to be in a match with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton for the Intercontinental Championship. But
KSI has been to some matches, so if he flew over from the UK.
Hang on a second. Real quick. Where out of this picture do you see a person called KSI?
I thought he meant in the crowd of the all-female picture.
That is our truth.
Oh.
I thought he meant in the crowd of the girl shot. I didn't know he meant this. Never mind.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to put the podcast on hold for a second, but my son was like, KSI. I was like, who is KSI? I'm like, I don't know who. Okay, that's our truth. That's a wrestler.
He is the Mark Phillips of Europe.
Okay, cool. That helps me out a lot because I admit I'm 41 years old. I don't really follow a lot of these young YouTubers, but apparently my son does. So whenever he says a name, I'm just like, who?
The list goes on.
The list goes
on.
How do I start with this?
Give me one name because you've got a list. One name.
Okay. Corey Kitchen.
Who?
Corey Kitchen.
Corey Kitchen?
Yeah, why not?
That's a person?
Yes.
These are all people like my age and up, though. So they've been around.
Okay.
They've managed to reach his generation as well as mine, but
okay.
Yeah.
I like board games and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm just gonna take your word for it
because now our territory.
Now I feel really
old. The taxi driver in Five Nights at Freddy's.
I feel old as all get out right now when he's seeing me YouTube.
Yeah,
anyway,
me and Safari is the same generation, so
okay. As long as y'all know, because I was going to ask a whole lot of questions this podcast. But no, really quick before we get to our comic book pulls, again, the episode recaps for X-Men 97. I'm gonna be honest, because again, it is still fairly fresh. So because it is fairly fresh, we're not gonna go into detail about it. If you have seen it, I just want you guys to kind of give your synopsis of it. Again, we're gonna keep this as spoiler-free as humanly possible because the episode is still fresh. It still is worth watching just because I would really like to see a series like 97, much like the animated series Spider-Man to come back. And I think that enough people watch it, these things will actually happen. So I'm going to start with you, Joe. Did you watch the most recent X-Men 97 episode? And if so, you're feeling on it?
I am the master of magnet. That is literally what this episode is about. If you don't know what that's from, I can't help you. But no, this was very enjoyable. Very questionable ending on one particular thing that.
Yeah, we did a lot this episode. We did a lot this episode.
Yeah.
Jubilee had a very interesting birthday present happen at the very end of the episode, which I was like one of my friends, like, did they just lay down? It's like, don't worry about it. It cut to it irised out. Don't worry about it.
Pretty much.
Everybody in the house except Gambit and Morph.
Yep. Lizzie, what do you think?
So y'all gonna hate me, but I need to catch up because I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It is completely fine. You are completely fine.
Yeah, my Wednesdays are loaded. I now have this, Abbott Elementary, Bad Batch, and then if I have time, Family Guy's in there somewhere now.
I have to catch up on. I have to catch up on Bad Batch and Abbott
It's
Elementary.
good. It's just you have competition now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What you gonna say, Joe?
I did notice one Easter egg is that the original Jubilee actress in this episode.
Yep. Now you can give what's yours, but you can't spoil it. Can't spoil it. All right. It's good. That's not fair enough. It's good.
Also, clearly somebody got put on Ozempic from 96 to 97.
Yeah. I get everybody
back. I didn't realize she didn't come back for the role until the cameo popped up.
Mm-hmm.
They sound the same, to be honest.
That's yeah.
The only thing I'm very confused on is why Storm is getting like a very split off B story.
I've heard
in
about
its own episode. Like, I feel like I'm glad she's getting like her own story to tell.
Yeah,
but I want that as like a full episode, not as like a detached B plot from the rest of the series.
I mean, fair enough, but I give it time to cook on that one. I'll give it time to cook, see where they go with that. But
did she not meet him last season of the last show? Because I could have swore
they all met, but it was pretty much just Forge and Charles Guns like, cool, we bouncing. That was pretty much the only interaction.
Okay, because I was like, how do you not remember him?
Yeah,
because I think that was I remember what it was. That was an Iceman. That was the episode where they reintroduced Iceman.
Yeah, and they had to fight the Wyman, their offshoot reboot people. And
no. X Factor's a real thing. They were a Peter David team working for the government. I have most of that run.
Okay, and then didn't they come? And then the Phalanx in season 5 didn't they come to? Didn't they do a Forge with that again?
Yeah.
Unless Storm wasn't in that episode, I don't know. They always conveniently.
You're the right ballpark.
Yeah, because they always conveniently remove the isolate the X-Men that they need for the episode.
They were not together in the comics at that point. I think at that point they were still teasing Wolverine and Storm.
Yeah.
Which we teased that for an episode and we went right back to Jean.
Yeah, but
now to be fair, that was an alternate future.
It was, but then when they ended with them flirting in our timeline, it was just like, oh, they're going to an alternate timeline. Nope, there's just a red flash of light, and no one's gonna ask what that was.
Pretty much, but no, it was still a good episode though. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Lizzie, you definitely will be looking forward to that one. I still want to know your thoughts on that when you do actually get to see it though. But aside from that. Aside from that, we did see the season finale of Invincible again. The way I can explain it, I don't think. I mean, the ending itself is leading up to the 3rd season because a certain character was introduced, and because a certain character was introduced, I'm concerned for Mark. If they decide to go that route, I'm kind of hoping they don't. But it's Amazon Prime. Invincible is not a kid's show. They just might go that route. But again, it was a solid season finale. I love what they did with it. The fact that they really showed a side of Mark that I think is gonna be very different come next season. But I loved it. Tafari, did you get a chance to watch it?
I finally saw it last night. I like how they dodged all the legal smoke with the cameos. That was great.
Oh yeah, that part. Again, if you want to know what the cameos, the reason why I'm not saying them is because they are definitely worth watching. Lizzie, do you keep up with Invincible? Were you able to watch it?
Yeah, I was able to watch it. Like you said, I don't think people are prepared what's to come next season. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Whoo! I like it. Well, let's just say when you're old enough to watch, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Right
Just,
now.
just brace yourself. Just
I
brace
feel like the
yourself.
characters are usually smarter than. I feel like there's so many times in the plot where like the characters are smarter than they lead off. Because even when his mom was reading him, and I was like, why do we not make this a longer conversation? Yeah, you are mad at him from every other reality. Why are you torturing the one good one? Why don't you go back and fix the other 1,000 planets you came from? Why are you here? Also, if you were so much stronger, why did this lady, this white woman's vase cut you like that? And that should have told Mark, who has who's fought enough to realize you can't be that strong. My mom cut you while I was away.
Also, shout out to Sterling K. Brown. Wonderful job. Yeah, wonderful job he did with his character. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I didn't realize that's the thing about Invincible. I've learned like I like the villains, but dude, they get out of here like that.
Yeah, they don't really have a staying line. Well, except for one, but we haven't gotten to them yet. There is one that is going to be something else, but we haven't got to them yet. But again, no spoilers as we did, guys, because with both of those, you highly should watch them. And again, we want to encourage you guys that once you do watch them, definitely come back and let us know what you think about that. But we're going to go ahead and get to our comic pulls. So comic pulls of the week. So before we do get to them, we do always want to sit there and shout out to our people that show us love. I'm talking about Rick's Comic City. Rick's Comic City, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out. They have 2 locations, Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee. They are Nashville's #1 place for comics, for mangas, for collector's items, things of that nature. Definitely check them out. And definitely let them know that us here at Get Bit Podcast sent you. It doesn't get you any discounts, but lets them know because once you do walk into their stores, you basically see our handsome mugs on their television. So they show us love. So you want to show them love. So definitely check them out. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Support your local comic book stores. Support your local libraries. I cannot tell you, and I get it. Amazon is easy. Barnes & Noble is easy. The places that you can go to get books that have a Starbucks is easy. But it's just something about going to these places, especially these mom and pop places, the places that have just many comic books, but might not be just as popular, or libraries, whereas you see Joe is holding our favorite library card. Read the banned books. Kids who are listening to the sound of my voice, you may not know it right now, but there are people out there that are trying to make sure that you cannot read certain books. That being said, me and Joe and everybody else here at the Give It Podcast have always said, read the banned books. There is something there that you ought to know that they don't want you to know, but you'll be better for it because you do know it. So with that being said, guys, definitely check out Rick's Comic City if you are in the Middle Tennessee area. If you are not, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. They are the last places left. And once they are gone, you are going to miss them.
Read them.
As
your walls.
You do know you're in that group where you have a certain AR list you got to read, right?
What?
Why?
I'm confused.
You got real confused when I brought up AR list. That being said, Joe, I see you got comic book list ready. So what do we got?
Blue Beetle.
We got Blue Beetle number 8. This is written by Josh Joe with art by Adrian Gutierrez and colors by Will Quintana. This starts the new arc, Pinnacle of Achievement. One of the Earthbound Beetles willingly gives up her scarab to Victoria Court, and mistakes are immediately made by trying to access scarab technology and integrating it with Earth robotics. Needless to say, oops.
Very much. A very big oops.
I don't think we're that delayed this time.
No, we're good. We're good. We're gonna roll.
We got Ranger. Okay, we got Ranger Academy this time around.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking back into this one specifically because there is a giant update with one. What was that?
Nope, you're good. Go for it.
So we got this is written by Maria Ingrate Mora, with art by Joe Ming Yong, colors by Joanna Lafuente. This is just basically Paradise at the Ranger Academy. The reason why we're looking at this is because we have a longtime villain, and I guess she had to go. So one of the longtime Ranger villains that became reformed at one point has a child going to this academy. And because of time travel shenanigans, she has two children. One, we don't know if one's the older or younger sibling. She also doesn't remember if her husband is currently a Power Ranger or was a Power Ranger, because time travel's a thing with her. It's Nadira. We're talking about Nadira from Power Rangers Night Force. So we also go with Sage, who is being prodded by one of the other cadets to go back to the Green Ranger dormitory because apparently something befell this person's family member who also was instantly a Green Ranger. Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
I accidentally clicked out because a message came out. I was like, God damn it. I'm back.
You're fine. You're fine. Just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm good. I mean, the earthquake didn't affect me.
Ooh, not the earthquake.
This episode was fine. I think the big standout was the Nadira reveal, which was actually kind of funny. I enjoyed it. I kind of wish more was happening, but this is going to be a very slow-burning book from what I can tell. But again, we get more Power Rangers lore, and this is probably going to screw with some of Shadow's theories and plans somehow. Every book the Power Rangers does usually does.
Pretty much.
Moving over into Marvel, we got Avengers number 12, written by Jed MacKay. Please take note of that name. We'll be saying it at least 4 more times tonight. With art by Francesco Mortarino and color by Federico Blee. So this issue actually does address why have the Avengers not been helping out the X-Men this entire time. The Orchis has not been pretty much stamping out mankind. It's pretty much Iron Man's like, hey guys, I got this.
Right.
It's like, what about this? I got that too. What about this? I got it. And then Tony's like, okay, now I need you guys to step in.
It was good. It was interesting though, the fact of how that all unfurled in one shot. But yeah, it was a good issue. I liked it.
I liked it. Moving on over, Doctor Strange number 14, also written by Jed MacKay, written by Pascal Ferry, and colors by Heather Moore. This continues the D&D miniseries that Doctor Strange is currently caught in, along with Black Cat, Hunter's Moon, and Taskmaster. Things go badly because Baron Mordo got a hold of the book, and then Doctor Strange realized, oh wait, we're in D&D. All I gotta do is be a DM, and I can basically become god of this world. Also, fun and shenanigans.
But still, a D&D campaign with Taskmaster.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying a D&D campaign with Taskmaster is still funny to me. But go ahead.
This is a good book. He continues to impress. This directly leads into Blood Hunt number 1, written by, you'll never guess it, Jed MacKay, who, by the way, also got announced to be one of the principal writers of the 3 principal X-Men books.
Nice.
Okay.
I think he's writing flat out X-Men. I think, yes. Because someone's writing Exceptional X-Men, someone's writing Uncanny X-Men, someone's writing X-Men.
Yeah.
And Jed MacKay is just writing X-Men. Moving on over, we got Sensational She-Hulk number 7. This is written by Rainbow Rowell with art by Ig Guerrera and colors by D. Knief. The space station vacation with She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts gets interrupted by Jack's one-time love interest Ganymede, who swore to spend the rest of her life with him should she ever complete her life's goal, and guess what? She completed it. So now there's awkward tension everywhere.
Pretty much.
And then a fight. And apparently you can get speeding tickets in space.
All she wanted was chicken fingers. All she wanted was chicken fingers.
That's all she wanted. The book continues to just be a fun, easy read. It's a good palate cleansing book after you read so much other books. I love the art in this. This is like one of my favorite artists for She-Hulk ever outside of John Byrne.
Nice.
We get Vengeance of Moon Knight #4 with, guess what, Jed McKay. Art by Alessandro Capuccio and colors by Rachel Rosenberg. Look, Jed McKay is the golden boy of Marvel right now. This man is like juggling 5 different books at this point, I think.
Yeah.
This time around, it's Hunter Moon in the therapy chair with Moon Knight's personal therapist. See, Chad, there is active therapy going on in the world of Marvel.
Okay. Good to know. At least they have
we
some
also learn who the new Moon Knight is, and that he's connected to an opposing cult of Khonshu.
Yeah.
Kali? Is it Kali or Kalbi?
No, Kali, you're right.
Yep. And we learn it's an old Moon Knight villain, potentially. I'm not aware with who it is, but apparently it's like the Fist of Kali or something is masquerading as the new Moon Knight. Good book. Again, I like seeing heroes going to therapy to work out some things, and it's very interesting with Hunter's Moon more than anybody else because of how intrinsically connected he is to the Moon Knight lore now.
Yeah. Although the whole thing with him is the fact of with him and the imposter was always funny. It's like you didn't earn this, and that kind of sticks him a little bit. It's the whole thing of you didn't earn this, you didn't earn the title, you didn't go through being killed. It's like he was real heated about that. Almost Vegeta level.
And then rounding it out, we get X-Men #33. This is written by Jerry Duggan. With art by Joshua Cassara and colors by Romeo Feraldo Jr. We just get a giant, big X-Men offensive. The X-Men are still taking it to Orchis. Wolverine, we get a scene of Wolverine doing what he does best to all those poor men and women of combing the sewers. We get to see Ms. Marvel ask Dr. Doom, can we please borrow your X-Men? We need help.
That was still funny.
To which Doom even calls them the X-Men of Doom.
It was
even though Ms. Marvel gives them a different name. It's like we need the New Mutants, and then it's just like no one wants them to be called that, please.
It was just funny that Miss Marvel used logic on Doom, and Doom acknowledged it. Doom was like, I guess I must intervene. I was like,
oh yeah.
It's like the fact that Miss Marvel has figured out how to basically get Doom to do what she wants. That's an accomplishment in itself. From a guy.
Well, I think it's also to a degree that Doom respects her.
Yeah, that's true. Although at the same time, he said that they're still using Reed tech. He's below me. I was like, that man's hatred for Richards will never die.
I also like the high five she does with Volgak. She with Volgak and immediately burns herself. It's like the man's fists are perpetual magna. Why would you think anything high fiving that man was ever a good idea?
That was still funny. It's like high five and hand on fire. It's like just yeah. But no, it was a good issue. I did dig it.
Wolverine is also low-key hitting on the Lightning Lady. I thought that was hilarious. Like, you got to keep trying to recruit me, Logan. It's not going to work. It's like all X-Men members have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
That man was determined.
Yeah.
Oh man, but no.
Fantastic issue. I'm going to miss it because I think the next issue is the finale before the reboot happens.
What's your question, Chad?
Is this connected to Fall of the House of X?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the finale of it. Like,
Oh.
next month is the final issue, Chad, and then all of X-Men reboots again.
Pretty much.
Ooh.
So this is their overall crossover that's wrapping up.
Oh. I was watching a 7-hour recap of what happened.
How do you what? Did you say you were watching a 7-hour
That sounds
recap?
about right for Link.
Where do you find 7 hours to? You know what? Never mind.
YouTube,
What else we got, Joe?
on YouTube? On the YouTube,
No, that's
so
about
there's a
right.
7-hour. There was a 7-hour recap of One Piece. So I mean,
I'm trying to figure out where do you find the time to watch 7 hours or something.
I don't. I never have.
The fact you said with a straight face is just mystifying and confusing at the same time. But
Look,
Lord,
children have better time management than we do. It's called summer vacation.
It's called not having a. You know what? Let me leave that alone. It's called not having a job is what that is. But anyway, thanks, Joe, for that. I appreciate the comment polls of the week. So as we wrap this up, guys, again, I do want to thank everybody that liked, that watched, that let people know we're live. We'll certainly appreciate that. As we're wrapping up, guys, I do always want to allow people to really put themselves out there. Lizzie, because you're new, we're gonna throw you to the fire first. So do you want to let people know where they can find you and what you're about?
yay, fire! Sorry. No, but you can find me on Instagram. That's where I am most of the time. I'm Lizzie Collins Love. I'm also on Facebook. You can find me at Anime Ink Art. I'm the owner of Anime Ink Art. I have a brand. This is one of the sweaters right now. I have Shopify store, Redbubble store. I do art. I also highlight other Blurred creators. Have a IG live show called Anime Ink Art Live Talks. Actually, you're gonna be on the show soon, so yay! And that's basically what I do. I just be on the internet with positive vibes and content. So that's what I do.
Nice. Yes, I will definitely be a guest, coming guest on your show, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm sorry, what?
Can I be on it?
Depends. I think you're due for a baseball game, aren't you?
When?
The same day.
When's that day?
Monday.
When's Monday? Which Monday?
When's Monday?
I'm not gonna be here next Monday.
We know. Safari, you want people to know where they can find you?
Yes, I'm officially here under this name on all platforms that still exist for now because TikTok and X are hanging on by a thread. But I also post on Mondays because Mondays are terrible, and I try to make them a little less terrible. So you can find me doing all kinds of skits, rants, long and short form content of all kinds. Current video out is about the state of the anime industry and how we have basically let Crunchyroll become the new empire. So you can find me complaining about that. I also do the editing and behind the scenes work for Blurred's Eye View. Thank you guys for dealing with us in the clips and just supporting the highlights I've been busting my butt putting out, even though monetization is fun because our entire channel's in the red right now. So please support the new things I have to put out to make up for that loss. Also, the show is back on Tuesday. We are live at, I want to say, 7 p.m. right now?
8 p.m.
8
Eastern, 7 Central, isn't it?
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Because you and I are in the same time zone. Everyone else is in earthquake land.
Yeah, they're all on God's Etch a Sketch right now.
Oh, I get hit by God's bands tomorrow on Monday. Apparently, this eclipse has all of Dallas on swole. So maybe I have superpowers next week. I'll let y'all know.
All right. Joe, you want people to know what you're doing up to and where they can find you, sir?
Sleeping, eating, staying on the couch. I'm tired.
As you're clapping.
Because I'm honest.
You said you was testifying for a second over there. Lord, go ahead, Joe.
Let me think. Joe Italian last name on Twitter and Twitch, which I'm currently streaming this to Twitch. Because I don't stream anything to gaming to Twitch at the moment, just because I fall asleep too easily playing games nowadays. It's what happens when you're a hospital worker. What else? Show a guy Joe. I put up a new video. Not doing that great, but it's also very, very old school. I put up episode 5 of Turbo Ranger randomly because it went up on April Fool's, and I was supposed to do Boon Boonger episode 5. Coincidentally, it was both Black Ranger themed issues that both dealt with cops. So I lucked out because I chose that purely at random.
Nice.
So we get to see Super Sentai from 1989 and all of its hilarious glory, where the monster's whole purpose was let's turn everybody into samurai.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go after a little kid that has nothing to do with this story whatsoever. And it's like, right, it's Showa era. That means half these episodes deal with a little kid that bears nothing on the plot whatsoever.
Yeah.
God, I hate pennies.
Wow.
So, I mean, what? I mean, in current era tokusatsu, we've given up the plot of save this random child for no reason. They're legit going after, all the monsters go after adults in the new series.
I mean, you're not wrong, but damn.
No, I mean, literally, this episode in Turbo Ranger, this dude, the whole plot starts with the Black Turbo Ranger and the rest of the Turbo Rangers out jogging for training. And the others can't keep up with them because they're all high school students. And his actual thing in high school is like, well, I'm a track star. So I just like running and I can run alone. And then he just like runs into this kid. And then he ends up like running with the kid on his back the whole time. And at the end, it's like, I should have run with you guys to begin with. This whole time, it's like, none of this story in the middle was a plot that showed that you needed the team to be with you. Like, they only appear in like the last 5 episodes of the episode. Like, where did you learn the lesson while piggybacking this child?
That's fair. But Show a Guy Joe, sir, is where you can usually find his episodes. What about the streaming side? Are we still on the climb in Street Fighter 6, or have we stuck to Final Fantasy?
No, now I'm just doing Helldivers and Tekken. I don't like some of the balance patches they did in Tekken. I have to find a whole new like wall combo route because the normal route doesn't let you do the wall grab anymore with Dragunov.
Oh, they murked it. They've nerfed it.
What else? TikTok, which is also holding on by a thread, as Tafari said. Where I got more views by splitting my Turbo Ranger episode into 2 parts. So there's that. I don't agree with anybody or say anything on Twitter anymore. And that keeps my algorithm nice and clean because that means it can't go like, let's show you some posts about politics. Like, no, I'll not say anything and disagree with all these.
You've learned to stay out of the dark place.
I do not have a dark place. Like, all my stuff just is easygoing. All my algorithms are either tokusatsu themed or like right now democracy Helldiver themed.
I can say that, but I stay on Twitter. It's still a dark place to me. But all right. Anything else you got? Anything else you got going on, Joe?
I'll be at the Cherry Blossom Festival on Saturday. That's about it.
Nice. I got my hands full for that. But thank you, Joe. As for yours truly, you guys can usually find me Blacks_Spartan615 on all the socials. I do reviews on almost everything, including gym stuff, because I like to stay in shape. Let me actually get the link because we forgot to put that back up. So the link at the bottom, I'll make that a little bit bigger for you guys to find. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, we'll take the link to this YouTube, Facebook groups for all the podcasts. How the friend we got here, Get Bit, of course, on this podcast. Like, share, subscribe, let people know about it. We cannot do this without you. I stress this heavily enough because as much as we love to talk about this, people come up to us and tell us they love the show. We cannot do this without you. We're not asking for donations, guys. It's simply just liking and following and letting people know that we're live. A like and a share and a follow costs nothing but just a microsecond of your time. But we are grateful for everybody that watched, that liked, and are still hanging with us. We appreciate you tremendously. Aside from that, guys, I do want to talk about Blur Station. What is Blur Station? I keep bringing about Blur Station because, again, we've always wanted something of our own that was similar to Netflix, except it wasn't going to try to take content, it wasn't going to raise prices, and above all else, wasn't going to give you junk. Blur Station is basically for people of color, for blurs, for us to go to, for television shows, for movies, for animations, for comics. It basically has it all at the price of $10.99 a month. So, if you would be ever so kind to actually join us there, of course, you hit the Join Now button. Please select the Blurred's Eye View Offending membership, which is actually showing there. You can select any offending member that you would love. It doesn't matter. At the same time, as you see, it's $10.99 a month to where you'll be able to enjoy great content and still get food. That is a plus because if you ever notice these days, Amazon, Hulu, Netflix are all saying run your pockets. But here at Blur Station, we are keeping it $10.99. After 36 months of paying $10.99, you will get the opportunity to own a piece of Blur Station, which again is a whole lot easier than going to try to own a piece of Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Disney Plus. We're paying a boatload of money for just a small share. Where 36 months at $10.99, you'll be able to do just that. And again, if you're a content creator, your content is yours to keep at Blur Station. They just want to cut of the profit. They want to cut of the distribution, as well they should. So again, if you do want to have your content on blurstation.com, please, guys, you have to sign up for it first. Once you're signed in, you'll be able to reach out to the owners of Blur Station and then go from there about having your content shown. Because again, we can only do what we can once we have our own platform. And until we actually have it, like we do now at Blur Station, you can definitely do it there. Aside from that, guys, we will definitely be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news of the week. And hopefully be having some better news because, like I said, Phil Spencer, don't tease us about Gears of War 6. I'm so serious. But as we wrap this up, guys, Lizzie, Tafari, Joe, any last words for we call tonight, people? Hang on.
Just have a good weekend and take care of yourselves.
Tafari?
I will see y'all whenever the gods are done blocking out the sun.
Dang. Joe?
I think Ghostbusters is taking its promotional material too far. We had lightning strike to the Statue of Liberty. There's an earthquake in New York. A cold front moving in. I want to know how much more we're willing to put in to this promotional budget.
I knew he was going to say that. Okay. I knew it.
They're taking the sun next.
Yep.
The sun. I forgot. We're taking the sun. We will do anything to make sure we make more money than Godzilla next week.
Jesus.
The only thing about the earthquake with me, I was at work. I was in the bathroom, so I mean, if I died, I died. If it was stronger, but that's just a funny story. That's a funny story about it. I was sitting on the toilet.
Of all the ways to go,
places to be, right?
Take the Echo Dragon approach.
I mean, thank God it was a 4.8. Which is crazy to say, but it's just like, I can't move. I'm doing my business. So, at least it's shake for 50 seconds. I mean,
I die.
Listen,
I die.
If I die, I die. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't run. Like,
if the ground shakes beneath me, I'm just clocking out for the day. That was an act of God. And if it comes back, if it spins the block, I'd like to be at home. That's all.
Chad, bring us on home. What's your last thing you want to say tonight?
Join Blur Station or wind up in your walls.
Oh.
Okay, that's one way to promote. With that being said, guys, that's enough. Thank you. Like that. Let's not shove things down people's throats. That's not that kind of show. Come on now. With that being said, guys, Yeah, yeah, they will come after you. Trust me. We talked
No,
about
I
a certain.
mean you, because he keeps
Oh,
trying to show for you.
yeah, I was gonna say I was worried about that. I was gonna say like the GTA guy, but but the last thing I'll say about Give It Podcast, guys, is that about fandoms, we know them, we love them, we debate them, we argue them. The one thing that we don't want to be is toxic gatekeepers. We don't want to be people that want to keep people away from these fandoms, nor do we want to sit there and dislike somebody because their tastes are different than ours. The reason why these fandoms are existing is the same reason why we love sports, why we love news, why we love everything around us, because they bring people together. They open up worlds, they open up ideas, they open up imaginations, and most importantly, they're the reason why we can congregate and talk about our fandoms with love. And the only way we can do that, guys, is with peace and openness. And in the words of Will Wheaton, don't be a dick about it. So, that being said, guys, that's going to do it for this podcast. Again, thank you, Lizzie, for being on. Thank you, Tafar, for being on. But aside from that, guys, we will see you next Friday. Aside from that, take care of yourselves, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll all get through this. Peace.
Cheeseburger.